Thanks for joining News 6 and clickorlando.com. I'm News 6 anchor Lisa Bell, and we are here to talk about what is happening right around the corner tomorrow. In fact, it's hard to believe. Families, of course, gearing up for trick-or-treating, and while that is always so much fun, we do need to talk a little bit about safety because it can be a dangerous time for our little trick-or-treaters out on the road. Safety, of course, being a top priority. According to the CDC, kids are more than twice as likely to be hit by a car on Halloween than any other day of the year. So joining us now to talk about some safety tips that we will want to keep in mind is Dr. Amber Teague. She is a pediatric emergency physician at HCA Florida Osceola Hospital. Dr. Teague, thank you so much for joining us and spending some time with us today to talk about safety for our little trick-or-treaters.
Yes, thank you so much for having me, Lisa. It's a really important topic and a fun topic to have at the same time. So thanks for having me.
Yes, so I know you've been working in Central Florida for about a decade now, oftentimes in the emergency room, but tell us a little bit first about what you do exactly.
I am a provider at HCA Florida Osceola Hospital in their emergency room. I see patients up to age 21 and am fortunate that I get to care for kids and take care of anything from those bumps and bruises all the way up to more life-threatening issues, including the things that we're going to probably touch on today, which are accidents, injuries, and choking hazards. All of those things I cover while I'm covering the emergency department there.
Yeah, and as we know, certainly in the news, the holidays unfortunately can be a dangerous time for kids. They're out of school, they're out trying to have a good time. Specifically, we're talking about Halloween. What are some of the biggest concerns you have with Halloween?
There are several different concerns with Halloween from a safety standpoint. The first, of course, is just that traffic safety. Like you mentioned, accidents themselves are twice as likely to occur. There is multiple reasons why that happens. One, more people are out and about than typically what is occurring on a regular basis. There's more opportunities for drivers to be distracted, and there's more opportunities for children to be distracted and to forget those basic safety things of looking both ways. There are also risks that can occur with the costumes themselves. They can be tripping hazards if they're too long. They can be difficult to be seen if they're not wearing some sort of reflective material or bright colors. There are ways that you can help protect your child and make them safer by either applying some sort of reflective tape or utilizing something that can make them stand out and be seen. Glow sticks, a glow lanyard, something like that.
Yeah, and
While we're talking about costumes, oh, I'm so sorry.
go ahead. No, because, we are looking at some video of costumes right now, and you mentioned tripping hazards. Having the wrong
hmm
size costume, whether it's a mask or just the length of whatever they're wearing, you don't think of it, but it too can be dangerous.
Absolutely. And although they are so adorable, the masks themselves can cause visualization issues. If they're covering the eyes, they can't see as well. So oftentimes we recommend using face paint instead of a mask so they can actually be seen and they can see others as well.
And you mentioned some of the distractions. So we know people are on the roads, whether they're coming home from work, going to work, or driving their own kids around. But also parents who are out with their own trick-or-treaters might be distracted on their phones, not, keeping a close eye on their kids, trying to take pictures instead. So talk about some of the importance of that, of just being alert.
So this is a really important time where you yourself, as a driver or as a member in the car, can try and help to promote that safety. Of course, we should never be texting when driving. That is not okay. But this is a really good time to not have someone else be taking selfies or looking around, pointing out the other costumes that are available so that you as a driver don't try to look and be distracted when you should be focusing on the road. It is also a really important time to think about if there's something that you do want to see that's really cool, because there are really wonderful decorations and things out there, to make sure that you stop in a safe location, park your car, and then you can participate in the Halloween activities. Rolling down the window and trying to look or take photos is just not a safe practice to do.
So what are some of the biggest issues you see in the emergency room on Halloween night? Is it tripping hazards? Is it people? I mean, what do you typically see in the ER?
So there's a combination of things that we see. Normally, the night of Halloween, there's a lot of accidents. So pedestrians versus actual motor vehicles, or bicycles versus motor vehicles, where the driver or the kid got distracted and collided with each other, and they can result in minor to very serious life-threatening injuries. Another thing that we see a lot of, though, is kids will fall off the sidewalk or the ledge, fall down the steps, trip and fall, hit their head on something, and to have that head evaluation after that injury is a really common thing.
And then when it comes to the candy itself, growing up, my parents would always inspect our candy. I think it was also an opportunity for them to take what they wanted, but also looking for things that could potentially be dangerous. Is that an old wives' tale, or is that really important for parents to actually look through what their kids collect on Halloween night?
There are a lot of old wives' tales out there with certain illnesses, but this is actually one that's real and important. Making sure that the candy that your child is going to consume is a prepackaged manufacturer candy. This is not the time to be trying the neighbor's snack that they've handbagged. This is not the time to allow your kid to eat or enjoy any candy that's not still properly packaged. I understand the parent tax, and I think a lot of parents still participate in that tax, where they take a piece or two of the candy that they love the most. But it is important to look for the candy to make sure that it's still safe. And while you're on that note, to make sure if you've got tiny little ones, that any choking hazards that were gifts or treats for Halloween are also removed, so there's not that potential.
And of course, Halloween is tomorrow. Right around the corner is Thanksgiving and then Christmas. As I mentioned, kids are going to be out of school. What is your advice for parents as kids might be a little more unsupervised potentially, or out in the neighborhood playing with friends as we head into the holidays?
Being outside and being active is very important for a child's development, but remembering that they still need the appropriate supervision, that hazards that are chemicals or anything that you can accidentally ingest should be put up always in a safe place. There's lots of opportunities during these holidays for cooking, but making sure that those warm surfaces, stovetops, ovens, that you're teaching your child about fire safety and heat safety, and that they're not going to get those burns or injuries from that. And of course, making sure that any area where there's a potential for trips and falls, stairs, ledges, anything like that, is clean. Uh, Items are put away so you can minimize the potential for falls and injuries.
All right. And I know you also are a dog owner. I'm a dog owner as well. A tip to keep the chocolate away from our furry friends.
Absolutely. And those furry friends are just as excited for all the Halloween fun, but just can't share in all the treats.
All right. Well, Dr. Teague, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. We hope you have an uneventful Halloween and a very safe holiday season. Thanks for joining us today.
I appreciate your time. Thanks for having me.